Thank you very much, Angie. Before I go into acknowledging the many important people we have here tonight, allow me to ask you to put your hands together to all of you, important stakeholders in the future of Guyana. Allow me also this time to ask all our women on this occasion to stand as we acknowledge them with a resounding round of applause as we go towards the celebration of International Women's Day on March the 8th. So I ask all the women to please stand, and the men, please. Come on, please. No. I think the men can do better. One more time. Let's go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me say that one of the greatest achievements of the People's Progressive Party that has been a story not told enough is that as it relates to women empowerment and women involvement in the leadership and the governance of our country. And today, it was not by coincidence, but you saw before you two young women who are today doctors, who are today trailblazers, and who are today prime examples for women all across Guyana and around the world. And I want you to put your hands together to these women who have been creating changes. Tonight is not a night for long speeches. According to the organizers, it's a night with plenty of food, so we have to do lots of eating. You may want to say that I should avoid the part that says lots of eating. But according to the General Secretary, you need a lot of energy to deal with this government. And I intend to put every ounce of energy I have. So I need all the ounces that I have. So I have to maintain the ounces, okay? I want to also add to the list of acknowledgement Mr. Yu Todd from the University of Guyana. He's raising his hands to you. And you know, I would start tonight by saying we should all aspire to have the spirit of Dr. Roger Luncheon. And you may ask, what do I mean? Dr. Roger Luncheon, physically, you might say, he is not strong. But his mental strength, his emotional strength, and his commitment to Guyana and the development of Guyana, the advancement of Guyana, and the protection of democracy and the rights of Guyanese is giving him enough strength to carry on this fight. And that should be an inspiration for us. To all the leaders of the PPP and the Civic, a lot of them has been mentioned. I see Kwame McCoy looking at me. Yes, Kwame has done a great job, and many of you still talk about square talk. Okay. Kwame is smiling. Don't encourage him to that square talk again. So I want us all tonight to put our hands together for the team that put this dinner together. The Region 3 team, if they can stand wherever they are, they're still working, and I think they deserve a round of applause for the work they have done. And this dinner tonight is not about raising funds alone. It is about creating a platform for us to talk to each other, a platform for us to discuss with each other, to share ideas. And I want to say that we did a lot of things right when we were in government, but we did not do everything right. And I want to acknowledge this from the very inception. that there were gaps, and now sitting from the outside, you see those gaps much easier. But we want to commit to you that we are strong enough, we are humble enough to acknowledge the fact that there were mistakes, there were gaps, and our commitment to you tonight is filling those gaps, correcting those mistakes, and building a future in which all of us can be part of the great aspirations that Guyanese are feeling. But before we get there, there is a word that is called hope. And today, in this country, a lot of our young people, a lot of our business people are feeling a sense of hopelessness. And when hope is removed from a society, aspirations are removed. And I gave this example a few times about a couple sitting on their veranda during the local government elections. And they said to me, "Minister, don't worry about all these lofty explanations you're giving. Let me tell you what is happening. 4 years ago, my husband and I sat here and we were discussing whether we'll add on a new room to our house, repaint our house, or do back the fence 4 years ago. Last Christmas, they sat at the veranda and the conversation was, should we leave now or wait a little bit more?" And that is where the word hope comes in. When society loses hope, when they see the future threatened, when they see the future of their children exposed to various obstacles, and I want to touch on one of that. That is democracy, the rule of law, and freedom. And today, those are fundamental issues that the People's Progressive Party fought for. Let us not talk about the economic issues and the social issues as yet. This is the foundation of our country. Our country is built on the Constitution, on respect for the Constitution. And when the foundation is threatened, when the foundation is being trampled upon, then the nation can shake in every aspect of national life. And that is one of the fundamental. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that after the return to democracy, we are now faced with such a challenge in a world today where democracy is guarded very tightly. So the hope that we are talking about must be built on trust. We must be able to trust our government. And that is why tonight we want to interact with you and listen to you more than talk. We don't want to give you false promises and false hope, because we have seen what false promises and false hope has done to our country and to our people. And if it was the private sector, or if it was a developed state, and the government was a company, the government would have been sued. And why the government would have been sued? Because you cannot create promises and hope that cause people to invest in a particular way, and then you have no interest of fulfilling those hopes and those promises. And that is what the manifesto did. The manifesto of the APNO AFC created a hope that was built on lies. A hope that was never meant to be achieved, but was meant as a marketing tool to gain votes. And this is one of the regions that suffered severely as a result of those false promises. The rice farmers suffered immensely. The millers suffered immensely. Thousands of sugar workers and their families lost their jobs in this region because of those false promises and the false hope. An entire community, and not only one community, Wales, Potentia, Bell West, Canal, they're all affected now. people's life has been trampled upon. Children, parents finding it difficult to send their children to school. All based on false hope and false promise. So the hope we are talking about tonight and about in the future must be one in which trust is an important element. And I want to encourage you to go through all the PPP Civic Manifesto. And you will see that in all the manifesto, we tried and we were successful in the implementation of almost 80 to 85% of what we promised in that manifesto. And you know, as I said, there were mishaps. And a number of persons in this region still reminisce of the period when we were in government that we had cabinet outreaches. And they felt that this gave them a direct line to the government. It brought government down to the level of the people. And it was true. Because I can tell you, as a minister who served then, and as a technician who served then, and Comrade Gail Teixeira is here, Dr. Luncheon is here, Odinga Lubumba is here, ministers feared those cabinet outreaches. Because it gave the president and the cabinet hands-on analysis as to what was the reality on the ground. And I want to say to you that this would be something you would see in the new People's Progressive Party civic government. Constant cabinet outreaches all across the country. Because in creating this hope, we must be accountable to the promises we make. And that is why we are very, very careful in what we are promising. We will not promise anything that we cannot deliver to the people of Guyana. And that is something you can trust us on. So part of the mechanism going forward would be a review and accountability to the people of our country in relation to the promises that are made in the manifesto. So as I said, the hope must be built on trust. We must trust each other. The government must trust the people, and the people must trust the government. The second aspect of the hope is inclusiveness. We can't have hope only for one set of people. We can't have hope in our country where one set of the population feel excluded from that hope, feel excluded from that future. So the second aspect of hope is inclusiveness. And this is something these two young doctors pointed to. You're going to see a government that would include every single person in the Guyanese community. Every single Guyanese must feel part of the future. Every single Guyanese must feel as if they own part of the country, they own part of the vision, and they are part of what Guyana will be. Ownership through inclusiveness. This is another important aspect that you would see demonstrated by the People's Progressive Party Civic. The third aspect of hope is empowerment. We cannot create hope when there is great gap in our society between the have and the have-not, or the rich and the poor. So that hope must be able to empower people to graduate up the scale in our society. It must be able to empower the poor out of poverty, to empower those who don't have access to education to access to education. So hope, the other aspect of hope, must be empowerment. Empowering our people to do better in our country. And that is the third aspect of hope. And the fourth aspect I want to speak of is belief. We must have a belief in the vision. We must have a belief in what the PPP Civic is saying to us and where we're taking our country. And we have been outlining a lot of the strategies, a lot of the programs and projects. And we have still not finalized the manifesto because we are still in the process of listening. We just went to 21, we had representation from 21 villages in Region 9 sharing their ideas with us, because every single idea is valuable as we build this sense of hope about our future. So our belief must be in a better system of government and must be in better living condition for the people of our country. Health, education, social services, whatever they are. The hope must be able to demonstrate to the people of our country that at the end of the day, they will have a better living condition and a better system of government. And I want to return 1 minute to the word unity. Unity is not a word. You can't say unity and it is achieved. Unity can only be achieved by action. So a lot of persons jump up and say we will have unity, we must work in a united way. But let us examine the action of people, the action of governments, and to see whether the action back up the word or the message of unity. And the leader of the opposition has challenged this government to do an audit on the 1,000 young doctors, the scholarship that we give to young doctors. We have challenged the government to do an audit on the housing program, right, Joe? On the allocation of house lots across this country. Because we issue those challenges because we knew our action in government was never based on a singular section of our Guyanese society benefiting at the expense of another. It has never been that way. Unity cannot be an action when the first thing a government does is to send home almost 2,000 Amerindian young people. Unity cannot be an action if the first thing a government does is to send home young persons it perceived to be supportive of a political party. And we have many persons in Region 3 who were sent home when this government came to office. Unity cannot be an action when you have a Ministry of Social Cohesion that is operating in a partisan manner. Unity cannot be an action when you remove $10,000 transportation grant that every single children receive in this country and replace it with a bus system that does not stop in every community. And in this region, you know this is the truth. You know it. Unity cannot be achieved like this. Unity can only be judged, or your actions is what will unify the people of this country. And I want to assure you that the next People's Progressive Party government will continue the tradition of building a Guyana where all Guyanese will benefit and feel part of the development process and successes of our programs across this country. It is the only way. It is the only way. It is the mature way moving forward. There are a number of things that we have to do, improving the way government operates, reducing the cost of doing business, reducing the time it takes to get building permits, reducing the cost of doing business, reversing the 200 taxes. These are things that we've spoken about continuously. But I want to assure you tonight, as I said, this is more about listening to you, that as we charter the way forward, we are committing to you that we will work hard. We have learned from the mistakes. We also have experience in the successes being in government. And you can expect from us a stronger, more dependable, committed government to the people of Guyana. That is a commitment I can make to you as presidential candidate. And I want to say to you that this is not about Irfaan Ali or Region 3. This is about Guyana. This is about a team, putting together a team, and our General Secretary has defined that team. That team is not only the People's Progressive Party civic team. That team is a Big Ten team. That is why people who went away from us, who did not support us today, can feel comfortable coming to the PPP because they know in the PPP there lies a place, a listening ear, and a structure that would enable them to contribute positively to the development of our country. So even for those persons who might have who took a chance the last election somewhere else, I want to say to you that we welcome you back home. We welcome you back to the PPP family. And we say to you that you have nothing to worry about. Even those persons who voted against us, you don't have anything to worry about under People's Progressive Party civic government. We will never come after you. We will never discriminate against you. We will never victimize you. You will never have victimization against you. You know why? Because it's the PPP that fought for democracy. And democracy protects your right to choose. And it is the PPP that will protect that right. But in choosing, we must know that there are consequences. And we have seen the consequences of having this government in charge. So as we move forward, let us make the right choice. A choice that is based on critical analysis of who has the best vision for Guyana and which political party can create the best future for you, your family, and all of Guyana. Thank you very much.